So I've been pretty busy at the craft desk, and I recently wanted to play with some more paper bags, specifically smaller paper bags, and cutting up larger paper bags to make pages for the smaller paper bags. And I kind of came up with something that seemed kind of useful in a way for being made of junk. So out of this project there came a lot of little things, which I can show you in a minute, but first I'll talk about this. This is made of a Whole Foods paper bag, one single small paper bag that usually they use for putting drink bottles in. And what I did was I made a little cardboard button out of some scrap, and I stamped it with some StazOn ink and a circular stamp that I got recently from Tim Holtz. And that's put on kind of like a shank button with some green cording. I used green cording for this part and also to sew in the signatures, but it's really simple. And then I just put a little knot at the bottom, and yeah. So on the front part you have a pocket, and I sewed the button within the first part. And in this pocket there's kind of like two spots. There's this spot here, and then there's this spot here. And that pocket was formed from the bottom tab of the bag, and the bottom tab of the bag was glued down to stabilize the cover. And then the other side of the bag folds out, and you can see that it extends into the rest of the cover and folds over when you're not using it. And this too can be opened, and inside you can keep like grocery lists, receipts, coupons, that sort of thing. I kind of made this in mind with the idea that it can be used for shopping and for keeping track of lists, and just a quick place to jot down notes or whatever during your shopping and buying of food. So you can see that it was made from an entire Whole Foods bag. And then I did some outside stitching, and this is a single signature booklet. But the pages are just made of cut down images from a Whole Foods bag with interesting circle spots that can either be used for artwork or you can just write over top of it. And here's the middle of the signature. I did like little knots and tied it. And then you get the other side of the bag. So it's very simple, just a few folding techniques, single signature sewing thing, parts of a larger bag cut down to size to fit into the smaller one, and then it just closes, wraps up, and the thread goes around the button. And yeah, I thought it would be useful to try making some more of these for grocery shopping and stuff. Good place to keep your coupons and other things like that. And out of that one, there came a bunch of little scraps that I also turned into smaller booklets for notes or other things. I also created something which is not a book, but it could become an accessory. I call it the paper wallet. And this is also made from a paper bag. It just opens up like that. And there's like a pocket tuck spot here. And within, there's like this little notch here that can be a tuck spot, and then there is a full pocket here, and then you also have a pocket here. So I just call it the wallet because that's what it looks like to me, and it could probably be glued on a journal page or whatever, and you could put little cards in it or tags or whatever. But that was one of them. And then I made miniature booklets with the same single signature sewn on the outside with a little bit of end pieces, and this is just made from the scraps, and it just opens up and you can flip through it, probably do a little bit of artwork on these if you wanted to, and writing. I think that miniature booklets are actually really cute and fun to make. Stress relieving in a way, depending on how much you like sewing. Yeah. That's that one, and then I made a really, really skinny one. This one is reinforced with a couple other pieces of paper that were a bit thin, so it's more like cardstock here. And then it opens up and you've got all these little places for notes. And that's that one. And then there's this one, which was also made of the bottom part of the large bag, and it's a reinforced cover, which is more like a real book cover. And it's also got a tuck spot on the back part. And I use scraps in here too. And on this one, I actually inked the edges with green. So inside you get a few pages for notes, and here's their center signature, and then all that. And that one's very simple too. So all of that was done with like 2 sides and 1 front of a large grocery bag and a small grocery bag. So you can do a lot of fun things with grocery bags. Thanks for watching.